Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to Women Who Rock with Success, a digital media source for professional and entrepreneurial women. Did you know that we can be found on Google Play, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Sam's Broadcasting, AutoCast, and more? Women Who Rock with Success airs live each Tuesday at 9 a.m. Central Time, followed by our latest brand, Women Who Rock Investigates. We handpick professional women in many areas who can provide credible information in their field to build your business and lifestyle. To learn more about us, just visit our website at www.womenwhorockwithsuccess.com.
And good morning and welcome to the show. On today, we are thankful in these inclement weather temperatures. We're thankful that you joined us on the show on today on Women Who Rock with Success. And so we have an interesting guest in our studio on today, and he's going to talk to us about marketing. And so we, as women and men, because men are also featured on this platform, we do know that marketing is something that we need, but a lot of times we are in the wrong target audience. Our purpose is not where we're supposed to be. So sometimes we can be all over the place. And so that's what a marketer does. They help you to be able to strategize and be able to align your business so you can be able to get the customers that you need. So today on this show, we have CEO, founder, and president of Unleash Marketing, and it is Joe Mercadante, if I'm pronouncing that right.
You did.
Good morning. Okay, perfect. So good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Okay. And so we're going to start by just give us a little bit of history about you as to how, what interested you to be able to help individuals in the brand, in the field, and the occupation that you have.
Sure. So great question. I started the business right out of college in 2004. I had worked for a company that did consumer marketing while I was going to college for something totally unrelated, and decided that I really had a passion and desire to do marketing work. So I started the business as a pretty young guy. We focus at this point on helping medical practices and doctors' offices to stand out online through really effective internet marketing campaigns. But I think the work that we do is kind of universally applicable, depending, no matter what kind of business or vertical you're in. Building effective marketing campaigns kind of has a lot of similarities across different spaces. So today we help clients with landing page design, internet marketing, website design, social media management, Google Ads, really a host of marketing services.
Okay, great. So we're going to talk about Unleash Marketing. So give the audience a description of what Unleash Marketing, what it's all about, and why did you suggest that name as a topic for your business?
Sure. Well, the name is a great question. The .com name was available, so that helped. but the idea that through really a lot of knowledge and expertise that we can help our clients to really unleash their businesses and achieve their fullest potential online. That was kind of where the name came from. The reason I picked this vertical and that I think I really enjoy the kinds of clients we work with is that, we all, no matter what we do or where we are in life, we all have one kind of universal truth, which is that when something's wrong with us physically or we don't feel well, it's scary. And so the idea that we can help people who are out there and need medical care to find the best provider or the best person or practice that can help get them back to a healthy state for themselves, their loved ones, I think that's kind of at the core of why we really love working in this space and why I kind of gravitated toward the medical space.
Okay, great. So now we're going to do some comparisons here for the audience, and this will help them to be able to engage with your brand in retrospective of this other tool that individuals sometimes use too. So what does why would customers come to you versus Hootsuite? So we know that Hootsuite is a platform where individuals can be able to post and share social media marketing on a specific time and at a specific date, and how many of the posts that they decide to post, depending on what type of packages that they have, whether it's premium, or the standard package. So tell us actually a little bit as to the difference between as to your strategy, what you use for, we're not giving away all of your credentials and all of your secrets of your business. Tell us a little bit about how individual can be able to be successful through your brand in regards to social media marketing.
Sure, that's a great question. So, we look at Hootsuite as a tool, and in a lot of cases is a very valuable tool. But drawing a comparison between an agency like ourselves and a tool like Hootsuite is kind of like saying, why bring my car to a mechanic when I can buy a wrench at AutoZone? And so I think what we bring to the table is really the expertise behind using a tool like that. So you can use Hootsuite, as you said, to schedule posts, but who's writing those posts? Are we A/B testing different creative, different wording, different calls to action? What is the landing page environment like when someone clicks on that social media post? And how are we tracking how people interact with that? And then are we measuring whether they call your business or buy your product or your service? And then reverse engineer not only what campaign or what creative got the most clicks or the most impressions, but which ones produced the best customers or clients, and how do we then allocate more of our budget to those best performing campaigns? So sure, Hootsuite is great at helping entrepreneurs or marketers to write posts, schedule posts, but what an agency like ours does is a bit more, a little more robust in terms of the scheduling, the planning, the writing of that creative, and then the designing and testing of all the elements around that. So who is the audience? Is it a paid post or an organic one? What hashtags can we use to get that post in front of people who may not have seen it otherwise? If we're going to do that post as a paid boost or an ad, what demographic settings are we going to use, and how are we going to track that to measure results? So I hope that answers your question, kind of the difference between an agency or a consultant and a product like a Hootsuite.
Absolutely. So in regards to, we're going to go to another tool that you offer for customers, and that's website designing. And many individuals, entrepreneurs, sometimes they're CEOs, they utilize blogs to be able to build their website. And so we would like for you to share, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the audience to be able to engage with your product. And so giving them an option and to help them with variables that you offer with your tools that you offer for building and unleashing marketing for a brand. So in regards to the website of building for your customers, so what are some of the features that a customer would receive versus saying building a website from Wix? Because I know organic is very, very more important to have than just someone that where you just posting it in a kind of robot, I guess I would say. So.
Sure, great question. So, Wix, WordPress, some of the other platforms out there, GoDaddy, Website Tonight, they can be helpful for entrepreneurs. And so if you're in a place where you're just starting out and you need kind of a basic web presence, I think Wix does a good job of helping people be able to get a basic website out there that looks pretty good. It's great that it's easy to edit, so people are drawn, I think, to WordPress and template builders like that, because it allows them to make a site look the way they want without a lot of or any programming experience, really. So they definitely have their place, and a lot of great companies have gotten their start with a website from a company like Wix, so definitely nothing bad to say about that. I think that the websites that we build are a little different. So one of the things that we do at Unleash Marketing is we build completely custom websites that are built in HTML and CSS. So those are the languages that we use. They're mobile friendly, and they're really much more customizable. So when I say customizable, I don't just mean the way it looks or the colors or backgrounds or things, but a lot of functionality. So as an example, we have medical clients who we've built out insurance checker software. So it allows a patient right from the provider's website to punch in what insurance provider they have and in real time see if they're covered and what their visits will cost, to help reduce patients who call in and you don't take their insurance, and to help patients understand, what their benefits will do for them at a medical office. So that's an example of something that's really a custom-built product that Wix or WordPress would really have a hard time working with. One of the other things that we do that's very important is we use heat mapping tools. So there's a website out there called Hotjar. It's free. I recommend that anybody who's an entrepreneur or a business owner that has a website signs up for Hotjar. They'll give you a little piece of code that you can put into your website, and it will actually allow you to see how visitors are interacting with your site. So what sections of your website do they read? Where do they move their mouse? What do they click on? And you can actually watch a video of every website visit, and you can see where the person's moving their mouse, where they're scrolling. And so you might notice that, hey, we have, our main call to action is 3/4 of the way down the page, but none of our visitors even scroll down that far. So we need to move that up higher. So you can really gain some actionable insights with tools like that. And unfortunately, one of the limitations is that Wix, WordPress, GoDaddy, Website Builder, a lot of those things are incompatible with kind of the more sophisticated tracking software.
Okay, absolutely. So in regards to that, do you offer, I know Alexa offers tools where you can be able to put your website in there, and it can also let you know how many individuals have visited your site. So is it Search Engine Optimizer also included in your packages as well?
Yeah, so in my experience, in my opinion, today in 2021, when we're recording this, for many businesses, especially if you are a business who attracts your customers locally in terms of geography, SEO has really changed in the last 5 years, and we actually don't do SEO work anymore. And I'll tell you the reason. If you're a business that sells T-shirts for entrepreneurs, then SEO might be your best friend, because being the number one result for entrepreneur cool apparel might get you a lot of traffic and people who buy your sweatshirts. But if you're a business that operates in a specific geography where your clients or your customers are usually putting in the name of a town along with their search, so for example, Brooklyn, New York dentist, then what happens if you do a Google search for a phrase like that is that at the top of your results page, you'll see 2 or 3 pay-per-click ads, right? Right below that, you'll see the Google Maps results. So the Google Places, Google My Business will have 3 or 4 results with a map in results there. Then below that, you'll usually see an industry leader website. So Yelp, ZocDoc, one of the big, huge monster websites that it would be unrealistic for you to outcompete SEO-wise. And so what's wound up happening is that even if your business is the number one organic search result for a certain term, what you'll find is that you wind up being halfway down the page. You're below 2 or 3 Google ads, you're below 3 or 4 Google Maps results, and then you're below somebody like Yelp or ZocDoc or something. And so even the number one organic result, when there's a city and state added to the keyword, winds up being ineffective. And so that's really been a change that we've seen in the last couple of years, and why we don't recommend SEO for certainly medical practices, but really for any business who's looking to bring in clients or customers who are looking for a keyword that has geography in it.
Okay. So do you see that declining? Because that's very, very important for the broadcast on the day. That's very, very important, because that's all we would hear, entrepreneurs, business owners, is SEO. But you rarely, come to think of it, you rarely see that in 2021, and I rarely saw a lot of it in 2020, where savvy tech entrepreneurs were training and doing master classes in regards to SEO, and so that's very, very interesting. So do you see a decline that's coming to that, or the death, as some individuals use that word when it comes to death of the media or the newspaper or what have you? Do you see a decline coming to that in the years to come?
Yeah, Diane, I think that it's already dead for most entrepreneurs.
Okay.
If, again, the key here is if the customers or clients that you are looking to attract are searching for something in their locality, then I think it's probably already dead. And what I suggest anyone listening to this do is go on Google yourself. Make sure that you're logged out of Gmail, because the results that you see in Google are prioritized based on the websites you visit when you're signed in. Mm-hmm. So I have conversations with business owners all of the time who say, oh, we're already the number 2 result on Google for Brooklyn dentist. And I challenge them to log out and open a new window and do the same search with incognito mode, and they find that they aren't even on the first page. So I suggest that any business owner, especially if you are investing in SEO or considering investing in SEO, do a Google search for the phrases that you think your clients are Googling. If you're a plumber or a doctor, do a Google search for Atlanta, Georgia plumber, and look at the results and say to yourself, even if I was the number 1 result organically, where would I be on this page? And if the answer is 10 spots down, then SEO isn't going to be a winner for you. And I deal with, I talk to clients all the time, Diane, who own medical practices in my space, but it's, I think, universally true. And they say, yeah, we've been spending $600 a month on SEO for the last 8 months, and we don't really know what results we're getting. And so there are two problems. The first is that, as we discussed, your number 1 organic rank probably isn't getting you a lot of traffic anyway, because you're halfway down the page, below the maps, below the ads. But the other problem, Diane, is that it's impossible to quantify the results that come from your organic web traffic as opposed to your word of mouth or direct referrals. So, for example, if you're an eye doctor and you are doing SEO work and you're optimizing for 5 different keywords, 5 different phrases, when people click on those results, they're taken to your main practice website. And so how will you tell the difference between visitors that came to you from that SEO effort as opposed to visitors where their next door neighbor told them about your practice, so they Googled your practice by name and found you at the top of organic results because they were already looking for your business, and they click and go to your same homepage. So it's very difficult to quantify what I'm getting out of my SEO expenditure, whereas on an ad campaign, we can direct that traffic to a landing page that has a different tracking phone number. So now we can isolate what phone calls came from our Google ads or our Facebook ads, as opposed to our regular website visitors that might have been referrals or organic. So those are the 2 challenges, I think, with organic SEO work, and I think it's already largely dead.
Okay, great. That's fair enough. And so this is another question in regards to the social media campaigns, which they are very, very beneficial for businesses and companies to be able to find their target, find the target who or the niche that is interested in their brands, products, and services. So with Unleashed Marketing, what are some of the strategies that you all use or a business owner can be able to use, entrepreneur can be able to use in order to be able to find out in order to find or narrow down their research as to how to be able to find their audience before they release the social media campaign? I know LinkedIn has a very, very powerful tool, and Facebook, that's something we use all the time. It's a very, very, very great asset to entrepreneurs if they want to be able to get their products in front of individuals basically all over the nation. So you can go ahead and answer that if you would like to.
Sure, I'd love to, and that's a great question, Diane. So leveraging Facebook ads and the audience builder and really any social media platform, Instagram and Facebook are obviously linked, but as you mentioned, LinkedIn as well. What I can tell business owners that are trying to win when it comes to social media campaigns, one of the keys, is that shotgun marketing, we'll call it, doesn't work. So just putting an ad out there to a very wide audience with a very generic call to action and a very generic landing page experience or wherever they go when they click on your post or your ad, that is rarely effective. So the way to get away from that, to really, I think, be strategic and therefore more successful with your social media campaigns, is really to refine, as you said, the audience, but also the experience that audience member sees with your post or your ad. So as an example, and I'll use another medical practice example, but this is true, I think, universally, no matter what kind of business you're in. If you're an eye doctor and you are running an ad campaign on social media and you want to say, are you overdue for your eye exam? Click here, right? And then when someone clicks on your ad, they go to your regular website. That's a pretty generic experience. On the other hand, if you were an eye doctor and you wanted to have a really tailored ad campaign on social media or post, then imagine having a post that says, get your eye exams for you and your children in before back to school and take advantage of our special promotions for parents. And that ad only showed to parents with school-aged children who were within 5 miles of your office. And when they clicked on that ad, they were taken to a landing page that had your back-to-school specials and a way to schedule an appointment for the whole family right on that page. So you can see the difference between kind of a shotgun where we're just kind of blasting out there and we're going to see what we hit kind of approach, right? That's why we call it shotgun marketing, big pattern, as opposed to a very specific, tailored campaign. And so you can have one marketing campaign that has multiple different ad groups or sub-campaigns within it. One could be for, in using that same example, one could be for back-to-school eye exams. Another could be, do you have union insurance? Your benefits work well here. And those ads only show to employees of union pipe fitters, so as an example. And so the recipient seeing that, whatever your business is, says, wow, this is really relevant to me. They're much more likely to click on it. And then the next step is to make sure that not only your call to action, but also the experience someone has when they click on your ad, those things should be consistent all the way through. And so if I'm clicking on an ad for a plumber, then when I go to your webpage, if I was searching for help with a leaky toilet, then I should be taken to a subpage on your site that tells me how you'll solve my leaking toilet problem.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's fair enough. That is fair enough. That's kind of, as you're saying, as you stated, it's narrowing down and minimizing as to how individuals are targeting, because if you're just putting something out there, and as you say, shotgun, you're putting something out there, it's just going before anybody, and so you may pass up the actual audience that you are trying to seek. So we have a few minutes left. So in the 15 years of handling Internet marketing for some of the biggest hospitals and medical practices in the world, what tips can you give to any business owner trying to win online?
Wow, that's a great question. I would say, firstly, track everything. At the time we're recording this, 2021, there is no way that there is some kind of marketing campaign that you could be running where you can't track what's happening at a very granular level. And what I mean by that is, if you're an entrepreneur just starting out or you're a huge company, before you spend $100, $200, $10,000 on any kind of marketing campaign, you must make sure that you have the tools in place to track what's happening all the way through. Not just how many people saw my ad, which we call impressions, or how many people clicked on my ad, but how many of those signed up for my service. Did they call or did they sign up online? Then, once they sign up, were they repeat customers? Did they come in and buy from me 3 times? or did they cancel their order before it even shipped? And if you're not able to track that data all the way back to an individual keyword, an individual ad, then you're kind of driving a submarine with no sonar. You have to be able to say, this exact keyword and this exact ad and this exact landing page produced X number of dollars for my company, this many calls, this many appointment requests, this many no-shows, this many customers, whatever, this many quotes, whatever your business is, and then be able to allocate more budget to the ones that are performing well and less budget to the ones that are not. You'd be very surprised how many very large companies we've done marketing campaigns for, household names, and when we start really digging into their data, they find out and we find out that really all they know is how many people clicked on an ad or saw an ad. They really are missing that next step, which is key. What happens once someone interacts with my business? And so for entrepreneurs who maybe feel overwhelmed by that, it is difficult. You can hire an agency or a consultant, but at this this day and age, Diane, your listeners can go on Upwork and they can find a Google Pixel expert for $20 an hour who can spend 2 hours with you and set this up for you. And so for $40, you could have that kind of visibility. It's just an awareness that that's out there, and a sense that we must embark on setting that kind of tracking up before we can even think about doing any kind of meaningful ad campaigns. So that's, I think, mistake number one that I've learned that a lot of businesses make of all sizes. As we talked, probably number two is that shotgun marketing doesn't work, and that a specific ad tailored to a specific audience is really the key to winning. And I think probably the third is that there's got to be a consistency and a cohesiveness across your brand, that your different variations of landing pages that you're testing should look and feel like your website, which should look and feel like your social media cover photos, which should look and feel like the posts that you're making, so that you feel consistent and authentic. And authenticity, Diane, has become so important. There are so many websites out there now that people can buy from. Tools like you mentioned, like Wix and GoDaddy, make it so easy for anyone to build a website that consumers, I think, have become really well trained at spotting authenticity and a lack of authenticity. So making sure that your brand and your messaging are consistent across all your platforms and all your marketing and everything that you're doing, I think, is probably number three.
Okay, great. So even with that, where do you see or have you seen an increase? Okay, so you're the expert in this digital marketing world. Do you see an increase as far as how consumers are coming to Unleash Marketing and other marketing platforms, marketing strategies due to the COVID-19 and a lot of things are, being mandated. You have to wipe down. You have to have stay-at-home orders in some areas, and what have you and things. Do you see a increase in regards to how we do business in the near future?
Wow, yeah. I think that, for my business, COVID has really changed the business. I can share with you a little about what we've done differently, and then, what I think your listeners might benefit from. For us, what's changed, number one, is our setup. So normally, we have a great big office that I've been walking around by myself since last March, 6,000 square feet. We have an entire floor of an office building, and I'm the only one here. So that's a little unusual. But I think that, for our team, our employees that are used to coming to the office every day, when we had the first, I guess, wave, you'd call it, we shut down very early on. We started working from home actually 2 weeks before, I think March 8th, which was 2 weeks before the state of New Jersey told us that if you were a non-essential business, you had to work from home if possible. So we started by making sure we had the right equipment, right? So we needed extra network switches and long Ethernet cables so that employees could bring their phones and their computers home and actually have a way to plug it in, things that we never would have thought about. Well, my router's in the garage and my office on the other side of the house. How do we address that. So we actually had a wiring company that was going around to our employees' houses, installing Cat5 wires, through attics and crawl spaces, like setting up their home offices. So that was one change. But I think that the collaboration element really we fumbled with in the beginning. So people, employees would message each other or me on Skype. I'd be on a call, so I wouldn't see it for 20 minutes, and they're sitting there waiting for my answer so they can get back to whatever they were doing. And so we really struggled in the early days of COVID with communicating. The way that we solved that was we found a great tool called LifeSize, which is a video chat platform, and we tried dozens of them. And what I was looking for was a video chat room that's always the same link, that doesn't have a host, and that doesn't need to be started every day. So if we have employees that start at 8 or 8:30, we have different people at 9 because they work till 6. At first we were trying Zoom, but it was a different link every morning, and somebody had to be the host. And then if you wanted to share screens, we had to change who the host was. It was very cumbersome. So having our entire team on a screen where we could talk in real time helped with a few things. It improved the communication, because if Natalie was waiting for Lisa, she could see that she wasn't at her desk, and so she could move on to a different task instead of waiting for a reply that wasn't coming on Skype. The second thing it did was, and this is so important, it brought back the kind of feeling of community, that little small talk of challenges we're having with our client that we're working on, or have you done this a different way with this ad campaign, here's what I'm seeing, down to, I just got a new coffee machine. I'm using it for the first time, right? That connection that we all had as a team kind of came back. And so people were feeling very isolated. I was as well. And that was one of our challenges. As far as doing business, the way that we work with our clients, I think, has changed and probably will change for a long time. So, we're based in New Jersey. I used to go to New York, Philadelphia, New Jersey, at least a couple days a week, and meet with clients in person, meet with prospective clients, and have conversations in person. And I think that's obviously difficult now. So we've had to make changes to our physical setup here. I'm talking to you now from a broadcast room that we built with podcasts and video and lighting and sound equipment. We reimagined our conference room with a new TV and webcams and new granite countertops and things, because I think that where we used to go meet in person with a new client or a prospective client, now it's going to be two of us maybe with masks on in our conference room, and we have to rethink how we portray our company and our message in this new kind of post-COVID, during COVID world. So I think those things have changed, and I think that how we get out in front of people, we used to focus on brochures and in-person conversations, like I mentioned, and now I think it's going to be a lot more video content that our consumers can watch on demand without masks and things like that.
Okay. So let the listeners know how they can be able to connect with you, any publications that you have published, or any upcoming classes that you may have, any website links that you would like to share, and how they can be able to follow you on social media. You can do that at this time.
Oh, great. So, our website is unleashmarketing.com. It's present tense of unleash, so UNLEASH, no ED, unleashmarketing.com. And all of our social channels and everything is linked there. All of our portfolio, that's the best way. Okay,
great. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have had Joe Mercadani. I'm just still trying to say that right, with Unleash, not ED, but Unleash Marketing. And we have learned a lot about social media marketing. We have learned a lot about his own company, Unleash Marketing. And we have also learned a little bit about the virtual aspects of business during the COVID-19, and how we can still be able to strategize and still be able to keep things running and moving. Sometimes we have to move some things around in order to prohibit from trying to close the business down. Everybody's trying to close. We can't do it. Yes, you can. You can do it. He just showed you how to do it. He just mentioned it to you. So thank you so much for being our guest on the show today, Joe.
It was my pleasure, Diane. Thank you so much.
Okay, and listeners, for all upcoming events, rules, tools, resources, of course, you know you can go to our website and you can look on our page, and he will be on there too, on Men Who Rock with Success, and you can find that at www.womenwhorockwithsuccess.com. So thank you, everyone, for being on the show, and tune in with us at 10 o'clock a.m., which we got probably about 25 more minutes, and we're going to go straight into Women Who Rock Investigates. Take care and have a great day.